Hey there, folks. This is Once Upon a Game, a variety show where we play one-shot prepless role-playing games. Today, we are playing a game called Shipwreckers about Cornwall and spookiness and sadness. That is my very brief summary of the game we are playing. We've just finished creating our crew and our characters, and so I think now it is time for us to introduce them properly. So I think yeah, we cut from this shot of outside, kind of like the cottage / drinking house, and we see you all kind of move out indistinctly and go over the rise of the hill, and then we cut to a really long shot of the cliff and this narrow, precarious path that you're all picking your way down as the rain just hammers down on you. But at a definite angle, because the wind is just screaming tonight. You can feel it tugging at your clothes and worming its cold, greedy fingers inside, and the hairs on the back of your necks are all rising up. And I think we the shot moves in closer as we see you all picking your way down the cliff, and we get in a flash of lightning our first look at our first character. Who's leading the group down the cliff? Tregareth, is it you with your sturdy shoes?
Oh, is it we're walking down?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, how else were you picturing you getting
skating
down?
down?
I'm curious.
Climb,
diving
climb
down
we
into the
can
sea.
jump down.
Mud skis.
Yeah, sure. We'll walk down the cliff. There are many kinds of cliffs. I live by a forest, and I love going down. Yeah. So Tagareth is going first. He's got his sturdy shoes. He's got his glove on. He's kind of wearing heavy clothes, I'd say. He's got a cloak on because there's a lot of surf being blown up at us from the sea.
Yep.
And he's got a bit of a paunch to him too, but he's got sure footing, and he is very patient, and he doesn't seem to have any trouble navigating this cliffside.
Yeah.
Every so often, he'll kick a rock out of the way, or he's probably got a staff, and he'll clear the path for the rest of the group that's following him.
Yeah, totally. And what do we get of his mood tonight? What does his emotional landscape look like?
It's usually kind of hard to tell with him. I think usually when you see him, he just drinks a lot, complains about the king, and tips the barmaid far too much.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't even think you guys know what he does for a living.
Yeah, I love it. So he maybe those sturdy shoes are because he has to travel a bit of a ways to get here.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, and so we see him kind of come around the cliff down this narrow little path, picking his way along, shifting rock out of his way, and we see him kind of vanish around a slight curve, around a little bit of a corner. Who's following immediately in his wake?
I am.
Cool. Could you describe Cass Warren for us, Sean?
Yeah, I think Cass Warren's a fairly tall, gaunt man. I think he's probably 6'2", 185 centimeters. He just looks really gaunt. He's around, I guess, 40, his early 40s, with graying black hair. He has a full beard, and he keeps his hair cut short, just basically as
with
basic
his
haircut. With his it's and so he has these kind of haunted brown eyes, and he's just wandering behind, and he's got his coat pulled close against him, against the cold, and is carefully following Triggereth.
Yeah, and I think we get a shot, and we see your beard blowing back in your face in the wind.
Yeah,
you kind of impatiently pushing it down, and then like just as you go around the corner, we see like a fox like stick its head out of a burrow and then just like freeze in response to your presence and just like with like wide, startled, like terrified animal eyes, just like flee back down.
Yeah. Has anyone seen the movie The Witch or like the Vivitch as it was? So like I just imagine him as like the father with like slightly darker hair.
Sure.
Basically.
Oh yeah, right. So Pete Postlethwaite plays.
Yeah.
Cool. Quality content.
Yeah.
And then Ruin. Tell us, like bringing up the rear. What do you look like?
Kind of average height, medium length, brown hair, short crop brown beard. Gray eyes. He's not wearing a jacket because somebody swiped his jacket in the hubbub on the way out. So he's walking with a bottle of brandy in one hand and an axe in the other. But he's weatherproof, so it's not a big deal. But he's brooding. He's at the back of the line and he's brooding because a very important day is coming up and he's got things on his mind.
Yes, he does. Yeah, and so I think you all come around the corner, and you see down below you the cove, and it's like quite a kind of like open one, or at least it seems so on first impression. But you all have been down here at low tide and know that like there are basically two arms of a reef that close off a whole bunch of what looks like open territory that will just like tear the belly out of a ship and leave it to bleed out and founder in the water. And I think lo and behold, as you come around the corner, you see a ship being blown in by this like savage wind. You can see like her sails are shredded and they're like billowing out massively, and she's just driving halfway across the reef already. You can hear like very, very faintly over the screaming of the wind, like the cries of like alarm and panic as all of these tiny little kind of like ant-like toy soldiers on deck kind of like scrabble to get their ship together. And I think you can all tell immediately, because of your political affiliation and your backgrounds, that this is a Navy ship. This is one of the King's ships. Not like the biggest ship you've ever seen. It would probably hold, the crew would probably be like 30 people. I think her job is to patrol for like smuggling along this coast, because Cornwall is also quite well known for that. But right now she's not really doing any patrolling. Like half of the crew are like down in the guts of the ship, like frantically bailing and like running buckets of water up to try and keep her like afloat for just a little bit longer. And on deck, you can see like a captain like shouting orders as the sail just like flaps and then tears again. I think you see part of like the middle bar of the mast that the sail hangs off, like one of the spars like snaps in the wind, and there's like a beat, and then it like falls and drags like a tangle of rope down with it, and like smacks into two guys and like knocks them off the deck just into the reef, and they're. You all know the sea around here well enough to know like those two men are dead. And I think, you're like standing there kind of like halfway down the cliff at a little bit of like a gentler spot where you can rest. And I think before you, there's a choice between like this narrow winding path that is kind of like slow, but if you kind of like clutch the wall and you pick your way down is relatively safe, or a much faster kind of like scramble down like a rocky kind of like game trail.
Are there
once you get down, just to talk about the game for a moment, here is how this game works. Once down on the sands of the cove, it is your job to wade out to the wreck, deal with any survivors however you like, plunder what you can, and get it all away for sale or keeping. We play until your plunder is safely hidden away or sold on, and you are safely inside out of the storm. Good luck. So what do you do? Oh, Alex, in chat. Are there lifeboats? Good question. I think maybe you see like a group of maybe like 4 or 5 people like struggling with one, but it's so small that like it keeps like getting half tugged by the wind and so they're not having a great time with it.
I like the idea of getting down quicker. So
I'm shocked.
Triggereth, he'll like get his rope and throw it down. Be like, you guys can go down safely. Then
What
I'll
are you in a
follow
rush
behind.
for?
If we
Are there other villagers around, or is it just us?
I think it's just the three of you.
Oh wow, okay.
maybe if we get down there quickly enough, we can offer them aid and make sure that this ship is well and truly wrecked.
Or we can let the sea take as many of them as we can.
Well, if you trust the sea.
Yeah, so I think Triggereth, I think there's definitely like an old bent wizened like thorn tree nearby that you can like tie your rope to if you're planning on like rappelling down the side of this steep kind of scrambling slope.
Yeah,
was that your intention?
Sure.
Yeah, so let's talk about mechanics for a bit. So as the MC of this game, I have two jobs. One, when a wrecker has a question about, or a member of chat apparently, has a question about the Cornish coast and the world of the game, it's my job to answer it. And when a wrecker tries something in defiance of my coastline, like you are now, it is my job to stop you and say, not so fast. And then here is the procedure that we follow. I ask you what you want if you succeed, and you tell me what it is. I either ask the group for suggestions or just tell you what failure will look like, and we settle on the stakes and we agree to them. Then you gather dice, kind of like the engagement roll in Blades in the Darks. There's a bunch of like things that you lose or gain dice for. Then you roll. As long as you get a single 4+, you get what you want. If none of the dice are higher than a 3, you fail, and the bad thing I've already talked about happens.
Sounds good.
It. You die. How you die is by dying being at stake as a failure condition.
Right.
But that's fairly unlikely unless you put yourself in a really, really bad situation.
Like climbing down a cliff in the rain.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nah, that's not that interesting. Not this early in the game. So Golden, what do you want if you succeed?
I want to get down quickly. And
yeah, like quick enough that the ship is still like kind of like sinking and not sunk. If that makes sense as a distinction.
I'd rather deal with the crew than deal with the ship being at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, I agree. And also, if we find survivors, we should get down there quick. So.
And also, you get the feeling that my character does not really like the Kingsmen.
I am profoundly shocked by this revelation about your character that I did not see coming at all.
No.
All right, yeah. So you want to get down there like quickly enough to like be interacting with the sailors. That seems legit.
Yeah.
If you fail, I think you are going to lose your grip, and it's going to be more of a slide than a climb, and you're going to like maybe like injure one of your legs a little.
Okay.
Like not a break, like a sprained ankle or something.
Sure.
So we gather your dice. You start with one die, or you always get one die for bravery and desperation. Your life or sanity is not directly at stake, so that's not relevant. Do you have a skill or a virtue that would help?
Probably not, unless you want to say the weatherproof helps because of the weather, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I think
it's not the weather. I'm just making this treacherous.
Yeah, exactly. But thankfully for you, there's not like a skill or virtue that would clearly, like if you try and swim, I'm going to be like, hey, do you have skilled swimmer? You don't? All right, lose a die because you clearly need that. There's nothing like that here. So you're still at one die. Do you have the right gear?
Oh, absolutely. I have many gear.
You have both rope and some sturdy shoes. I'm going to give you a +1 die for that.
Okay.
It's not a nigh impossible task. What you're doing is perfectly reasonable, if dangerous. There's no good contacts involved. There's no ill contacts in your way. Do you have a talisman, knack, or a cord that is helping you?
I mean, I guess my glove would help me keep my grip on the rocks.
Yeah, absolutely. So take +1 die for that.
Okay.
So 3 die. And we're looking
So I
for
roll
a
3d6?
single. Yep, a single 4+. That's all you need.
No.
And we all know that even on a single d6, there's a 50-50 chance. Yeah, so I think
Shut
like
your damn mouth.
I'm sorry, Sean. I think you're making your way down, and like I think your hand slips on the rope. It's like wet from all the rain, and like it's swaying around. You slip, you like lash out with the glove and like manage to catch the hooks in a rock. And it's not that the hook gives way, it's that you kind of see with horror as you're watching that this rock is not part of the cliff. It's just like embedded in like a bit of dirt, and it just kind of like gives way under your weight, and then you find yourself like tumbling down this scree slope.
I think it lands in a clump, in a pile.
Exactly. Like a flumping noise. Yeah, and I think you've twisted your ankle. Like not so badly that it can't operate, but like it hurts.
All right, so you can see him moving around on the shore.
Are you all right?
I do not think he can hear you over the sound of it.
Do you want to go breaking yourself like that, fool?
Yeah, no. What are the two of you up the top of the cliff going to do?
Well, I was thinking about going down the same way, but now I don't think I want to.
That is a conclusion to draw.
I was like, I've got a rope. I can help lower you down there if you want to go help him, and then I'll meet the two of you.
Okay, so I'll go down the same rope that he did, but you have another rope to keep me from falling?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. All right, that sounds good. That's
all right, not so fast.
Uh-oh.
Austin Walker thinking noises. I think, and I put this to you, I think it sounds like it's Sean who needs to make the roll here to like belay you. Actually, no. Sure. No, I think you are doing it. I think it's you climbing again. All right, so Ruin, what do you want?
I want to get down safely.
Safely and quickly, or just safely? Like
safely. Well, safely and quickly.
Ask for as much as you want, right? Like the worst that happens is I'm just like, okay, the bad thing is worse now.
Okay, safely and quickly. Yeah.
All right, cool. If you fail, you get down just fine, but Cass Warren is left like teetering right up on the treacherous edge.
Yeah, sure.
That doesn't seem like a bad outcome for him.
It doesn't have to be a bad outcome for him. Is everyone involved okay with that?
Sure.
All right, cool. Let's
roll a damn 4.
Yeah, let's get that die pulled together. So, 1 die for bravery and desperation. No one's life or sanity is directly at stake. Do you have a skill or a virtue that would help?
Well, no, I don't think so.
I don't think so. Do you have but there's not anything that would be necessary, so you don't lose any. Do you have the right gear?
We have ropes. Yeah.
Yep, you've got ropes, and you've got like a buddy spotting you. So take +1. None of your contacts are involved yet. Do you have a talisman, knack, or a cord that will help? No, you do not. But thankfully, nothing else ghostly is about, so you're not going to lose any die there. So give me 2d6. We're looking for a 4+.
I like my chances.
Look, 50-50.
Woo woo!
There we go. Yeah, what? Why the fuck was anyone worried? Yeah.
Sweet.
I think being belayed down. You kind of swiftly descend down the cliff, and we see this, I think, from like a really like a long helicopter shot
with a bottle of brandy in one hand, no less.
Bottle of brandy in one hand. And your feet touch down on the sand of this cove. I think it's like a fairly shallow cove, if that makes sense. Like the slope into the sea is like a fairly shallow angle, and the drop off is quite some way out. And so I think like it's a wash with like a tiny bit of water up to like maybe like ankle height, but like nothing meaningful this high up the beach. And yeah, you're able to like run over to Tregareth, to Tregareth and like give him a hand up or whatever. Do you give him a drink from your brandy? It's very important to me to know this small detail.
I offer it. I'm not just going to pour it in his mouth, but
Tregareth?
I think Tregareth is just coughing and you took your time, right?
Yeah. No, he did it quickly.
No,
he did it quickly.
Yeah, it was fast.
Yeah.
He's probably just coughing and he's just like still trying to catch his breath, so he waves it off.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, make sure you're not punctured by like branches or rocks.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you can see that like his ankle is like starting to swell a little, and it's probably going to be a little dangerous. But I think like there's something nearby, like a bits of old driftwood or whatever, and you can like.
Yeah, I offered to help him get to his feet and like driftwood.
Well, sure, I had that pole.
Yeah.
Remember I was using to move rocks before.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I'm thinking not even
he's standing up,
like a splint type thing. Yeah, he's back on his feet.
Okay.
And yeah, I think the two of you can see the ship has now come like all the way through the reef. And like from experience that like her bottom is going to be like completely just shredded at this point. And you can see like she's already sinking and like the waterline is rising up the sides of the ship as she's just like driving on fast, driven by the wind up into the cove. And I think she settles with like a loud like thud, and you feel the beach almost like shake under you as she settles. Like probably the water out there would be about waist deep. And so it's it's not that high up on the sides of the ship, and you see the shudder like several sailors are like thrown forward. I think one like falls off the side and just like goes into the water, and you don't see him get back out. Like probably he's hit something down there. And I think we cut from the two of you down on the beach back up to Caswaran standing on the cliff top. Well, not the cliff top, the cliff halfway mark.
Yeah. I am going to hustle down the safer path as quickly as I can, since things have already kind of gone bottom up here.
Cool. Not so fast.
I can't.
If you'd said slowly. What do you want?
I want to get down the path safely and meet up with the others in a reasonable time frame.
That sounds reasonable to me. If you fail, of course. If you fail, there's a beast that roams the cliffsides, Sean.
Good. We're thinking the same thing.
That's what's gonna happen if you fail.
That's good, because I never
is
fail.
It affected by your bullshit? I mean, I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out.
I guess we will.
So,
except we won't, because I won't fail.
Yeah. So you start with one die. Your life or sanity isn't directly at stake.
Sure.
Do you have a skill or virtue that would help?
I don't think I do. No, I do not.
I wouldn't say so. But again, yeah, there's nothing like necessary. No, there's nothing necessary that you're missing. Do you have the right gear?
I don't. I mean,
yeah, those sturdy shoes would really help.
Yeah, they would be.
Alas, you do not have any sturdy shoes. Are any contacts involved? No. Do you have a talisman knack record that would help?
I don't believe so, technically, in this case.
So I think you do, because of the specific nature of what the failure condition is. I think your knack is definitely going to help you.
Okay, if I can get away with that extra die, I'll take it.
You get plus one die. So roll me 2d6 and let's see what happens.
Okay.
Damn.
That's what we do.
Damn. Yeah, so I think we just see this shot of you like helicopter shot of you like picking your way around the cliff, and I think we get we see the audience. I don't think your character even notices this, that like up above on like a ledge slightly higher than you is just like this black shadow that is shaped like something like a cat, but would have to stand like 7 feet tall at the shoulder. Like it's enormous, and it's got these like glowing golden eyes, and we just see it like peering down and like doing that cat thing where it like is clambering down and about to like leap on a thing, and then it like its nostrils flare and it just like distastefully like kind of yowls and like retreats back from you because it nah you know doesn't like you, you're no good. And I think you come in on like the very end of like this kind of like getting Tregareth back on his feet and kind of like staring out at the ship. I'll get like a couple of minutes after it's run aground.
Sure. Yeah.
All three of you are down there in the cove. You can see. I think you can now hear a little bit of what's going on. Like the wind is still screaming and it's like pulling at you, and you can almost feel like the weight of it, like being trying to push you to one side. You can very faintly hear someone like crying out like a casualty report. And like, you know, like a half dozen, maybe a couple more voices like yell out that they're okay. But like for a ship that can hold like 30, it's not great. They're not doing too well out there. What do you do?
Well, I'm standing by the shore, and they don't seem to be noticing me at all.
We're all menacingly.
I kind of would expect them to like call for help or something.
I think you guys are like, you're like some way away. I think it's probably like 15 meters or so, like further down the beach, because there's very shallow slope, and it's raining, and they're kind of focused on other things right now.
Sure.
Like you could get their attention, absolutely, but also if you wanted to like sneak up there, like some like mean stabby murder people, you could also do that.
I like stabbing people in the front.
I bet that is also a reasonable way to stab people. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, Tregareth is just going to be walking straight for the ship. You guys probably know he's going to try and trick them into killing themselves somehow. But if you guys want to be sneaky,
swim or is it like right up on the shore? Is there kind of a swim, or how do we get out there?
So like the bay, it's like out in the bay, kind of like in the water. You'd probably about be up to like waist deep, like when you reached the edge of the ship.
Oh, that's not that bad.
So like, yeah, it's walking distance.
Okay. Yeah,
you know, the current might be a bit of a nightmare, but like, you know, it's Cornwall. When is it not?
We're experienced. That's fine. Whatever. Yeah, so I'm gonna start waiting out there then.
Yep, cool. All right, so we got two of you waiting out. And so I think this is what we come in on. Like, Sean, you come down the cliff.
Yeah.
And land on the beach to see the two of them already like up to like mid-thigh, kind of like wading out towards the ship, just like head straight on.
I'm gonna yell back at them like, hurry up if you want anything.
Yeah, what do you want to do? What do you want to do, Caswaran?
So I kind of want to size up the situation and see where like there might be cargo that has like where some of the cargo's crashed and whatnot.
Like what kind of people there are?
Yeah, just like I just want to like be aware of the situation and what's happening. Like who do I need to worry about? What's valuable?
Okay, yeah, you're like taking stock of things?
Yeah.
Yeah, 110%. All right. I think you might have to get a little bit closer for that.
Okay, I will move closer. But do I like? I mean, is there any trouble with me walking out that way, or
not? You good?
Okay, yeah. I'm not like
you're safe. Yeah, like I'm not saying you have to walk like right up to the edge of the boat. Like I just think you have to get like a little bit of the ways into the water.
Yeah.
Because you know, like it's some distance, and the rain is lashing in your eyes, and the wind is blowing.
Sure.
Yeah, cool.
We'll do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think let's cut to the other two, and then we'll come back to you and see what it is you see. So the other two of you, you come up to the edge of the boat, the ship, I apologize, naval fans in the audience, namely one fake Alex Blue. You come up to the edge of the ship, and I think you can hear now kind of like clearly the captain like barking out orders, and this like small crew of survivors kind of like hurrying to respond to them as they're trying to get something out from like the hold. And from like what little you can hear, like it sounds like it's something valuable. There's sounds of urgency to what they're doing. And I think one sailor has just like spotted you like over the side of the ship where he's been like looking out to see how far it is to shore. He's like a young man, probably like maybe 20. And like that's generous. Like has he ever shaved yet? You don't actually know. He's got like that smooth, clean shaven, like youthful look to him, and he looks down at you and he calls out like, what ho?
Ahoy!
Yeah, I kind of just wave.
Yeah, and he's
what
like,
are you doing up there? You gotta get off that ship.
we can't. We've got to get the cargo down first. Captain's orders. Can you can you come up and give us a hand, please?
Y'all going to drown.
I think he like he goes a little bit paler, and he like, you get the impression he's like, I know, oh god, I did not sign up for this.
So Trigger, like,
he's like, I can't disobey orders, sir. Please, will you help us?
He just throws up a rope.
To help the kid down?
Well,
or,
the kid can do what he wants with the rope.
Okay, yeah. So you just you throw up a rope. Yeah, and I think the kid like takes the rope and like ties it onto like the thing on the side of the boat, you know, the railing thing. There's a word for it. I can't remember what it is. The railing thing. He ties it to the railing, and he's like, "Please, sir, in the name of His Majesty, we are a vessel of the Royal Navy. You are obliged to render assistance."
So Trigareth was actually like going to go up, but all of a sudden he like looks reticent to
I look right at Trigareth
to provide aid.
Like,
yeah, but the kid shouldn't have said that, huh? I think his name is Michael, for what it's worth.
Am I getting peer pressure from my fellow shipwrecker to actually go up there?
Yeah, Ruin, how do you feel about this?
I mean, I feel the same, right? Like, I mean, I don't want to help these people, but, you know, whether or not they're alive is kind of irrelevant to what we're here for. So I'm like, you know, let's just go. Come on.
Yep.
All right. I eventually climb up the rope.
Yeah, so the two of you haul yourselves up the side of the boat and the ship and find yourselves on deck. And I think at that point we cut from the two of you as you come up over the lip and hear the captain's voice like, "Michael, who are these gentlemen? What's going on?" And we cut back to Caswaran standing on the beach, and we see from his perspective the view of like what's going on. And so Caswaran, you can see, there's probably like 8 people left alive.
Oh wow!
On this boat.
Or at
the very least, like there's 8 people you can see on deck, right?
Sure.
Like there's some questions as to, you know, what's going on in the hold. You can see like most of them, like probably, 5 or 6 are sailors. They've got those like sailor uniforms on, and I think one of them is like, or 2 of them are up in the rigging, like desperately trying to like cut the sail free so it doesn't like continue tugging and then snap the mast and make it fall. Yeah. And you can see, I think the other 4 of them are coming up out of the deck, out of the hold of the ship with like barrels, and one of them is carrying like a round, incredibly heavy object. And then I think you see the captain, and with him are 2 like soldiers. They've got like rapiers at their belts. I don't think at this distance you can tell if either of them are carrying pistols, but like it's entirely possible. And that's the situation as you are able to kind of like
there a hole in the side of the ship, basically? Or
There is not a hole in the side of the ship. It is currently sitting on a bunch of stumps because the entire bottom of the ship was just like.
Okay. So there's not like a way to get into the ship from the outside.
I don't know. I think you would have to be like underwater, like to figure that out. Like I reckon if you went round to the side and stuck your head underwater, you'd be able to tell. But also, like you've got a saw, right? Like there isn't one. You can make one.
Yeah, I would like to do so while everyone seems pretty distracted by everything, right? And my companions.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, there's some kind of hubbub going on. Yeah, you can see the two of your companions like up there on the deck, and like the captain is like turning and like having a conversation with them.
Yeah, so this is a great opportunity to get into that cargo hold.
Unseen?
Yes.
Yeah, not so fast. So,
right.
What do you want?
I want to breach the ship's hold undetected and get inside.
And you're like, just to like make sure I've got like a clear mental picture of this, right? Like you're like going out to sea, going like past the nearest point of the boat out around to like, the hold, the middle of the ship where the hold proper is, and just like standing there in like the slightly higher than waist deep water, just like sawing away.
Yeah.
Yep, cool. All right, so the risk is, if you fail, the like powerful current that is dragging back out towards the reef is going to get you.
Oh.
And you are going to be like
in the
water. You're going to be in the water headed towards the reef. You're not going to be in the reef, right? Like I'm not like, oh my God, you smash into the reef and die. Like,
okay.
You're going to be headed towards that scenario. Are you okay with that? Does that seem fair?
It seems fair.
Yep. Cool. All right. Let's gather your dice, my friend.
Yeah.
Let's gather those dice. So you start with 1 die. Your life is not directly on the line yet, so you don't get that +1.
Sure.
Do you have a skill or a virtue that would help?
I am a good swimmer.
And you are good with your hands, like 110%. Do you have the right gear?
I have a sharp saw.
Yeah, you do. Do you know contacts are involved?
No.
Do you have a talisman, knack, or a cord? No. Is there something ghostly about? No. You guys very strategically made sure that none of the ghostly shit was in the ocean. All right, so roll 3d6, and we're looking for at least 1 4+.
3 is a magic number.
Fairy roads are kind of unusual.
Hey, if this is Blades, you just crit.
626.
You got a crit. Good job, Sean. Yeah, so I think you wade on out, and you are surprised as you get kind of like to like the waist deep point. I think there's a little bit of a drop off there, and as you kind of like settle down into the hollow of it, and your feet kind of touch the bottom, you're surprised by like this sudden tug that like nearly just takes your feet out from under you.
Ooh.
Like the ship is hungry to get the sea is hungry to get this ship back and like drag it back onto the rocks and just like shatter it to pieces.
Of course.
But you manage to like you plant yourself, you set yourself, you maybe even like hook the pickaxe like into the side of the ship so that you
I
can,
look
like,
out to the sea and I'm like, not today, my lover.
Not today. Yeah. And you you managed to saw like a door, right? Like you saw the top and then just pop out the planks and step into like the darkened, shadowed, obscured space of the hold of this ship.
And now the ship is filling with water.
Oh, the ship was already. I think the ship was already filling. Like there was a slow trickle, but yeah, it's sped up certainly. And then we cut from this scene of you and the water like breaching the ship to up on deck. Where the captain is saying, "Yes, you fine Cornish gentlemen. Yes, you're obliged by the laws of His Majesty to render assistance immediately to a vessel of the Royal Navy. I'll have you down below helping to remove the cannons, if you would."
So I'm going to address the captain.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, we're here to help, but we don't know the layout of the ship. It would be better if you went down there with the men of the ship and bring everything up here, and we'll help get everything to the shore for you.
Cool. Not so fast. All right. So what you want is for the captain, like the crew, to basically remove themselves from the deck and leave you guys free to.
I want them to go down into the very dangerous part of the ship.
Okay, legit. To
leave the stuff that they've left on the deck alone.
Yep. If this fails, Ooh, I mean, you're asking for a lot, so like I fear I'm gonna have to like push for a bit in return. All right, so I think here's what failure looks like. You get what you want, but you have to go down into the hold with them.
Sure.
And also, I think that's the point when Karantok shows up. There's a ship here to be scavenged.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
Come on, you don't think you're the only wreckers on this coast?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's what failure is going to look like.
All right.
So we start with 1 die. Do you have a skill or a virtue that would help?
Mm,
I don't think so.
I don't think so. No.
Do you have the gear that will help?
No, I've got booze, but that's it.
Is a good contact involved? No.
Nope.
Is it no contact in your way? Yes.
Okay.
Because like Karantok is right, like is
right. Yeah.
Does a talisman knack record help?
I'm lying. So yes.
Yes. All right. So you got 1 die.
Damn,
Remember,
I thought this was...
even on a single d6, you have a 50-50 chance of success.
All right, let's get that roll 20 beard luck.
Woo-hoo. Wow.
Well done.
Nicely done. All right. Yeah, so I think yeah, like the captain kind of like looks at you and like blinks hard for a moment, and then it's like, yes. Oh, yes, that sounds very reasonable. Yes, you are a redoubtable Cornish gentleman, and he kind of like reaches out and like pats you on the shoulder. I think he's played by Jonathan Pryce. The captain is played by Jonathan Pryce. In full Pirates of the Caribbean Governor Swan kind of like
I salute him or whatever the English salute is.
Yeah, whatever the English thing looks like. Yeah, and it's like a little bit off, but he doesn't notice. Yeah, and he kind of pats you on the eye. Yeah, good chap. Yes, you redoubtable Cornish gentleman. Yes, see if you can get what's already up on deck down the beach to safety, and we'll go down into the hold. And he's like, men, fall in. Come on, Williams, Fitzgerald, come get over here. Herbert, come on. And yeah, they all kind of like start to like follow him down underneath the deck. I think except for one of the soldiers who is older. I think he's like a short, stocky man. Like he's from like Yorkshire or somewhere, right? Like he's got that kind of like a build and that kind of a vibe to him. And he's this like older, like careworn, weather-beaten man with like a suspicious kind of surly look on his face. And I think he like goes halfway like down, so like the captain is like, oh good, everyone's doing what I'm saying. And he just kind of like lingers there in the doorway, just like watching the two of you, because he's like, I know what you Cornish people are like. Don't you fucking try anything with me. And I think Trigareth, well, so is either of you watching the beach, or are you both just like paying attention to suspicious McDude here?
Well, I'm not really paying attention to the specific guy. I'm like trying to roll in, and I say, you could sell ice to the devil himself. And then he'll like start tying ropes on the stuff that's on the ship and see if I can lower it down.
Bundling it up to be portable.
And I look over the side of the ship and see if our companions down there. And I assume
see what Cass Warren is doing. So I don't think you see Cass Warren. What I think you do spot is that on the far side of the bay, which I think is the side that Hollywell, like if you follow the coast around that way, you get to Hollywell. I think you see like a single dark figure like picking their way down across the beach. And I think like you recognize like that build, and you recognize that like doddering, slightly uncertain gait. It's definitely Karantok, but like he's some way off. It's entirely possible you guys can just like totally like beat him to it and be gone before he even arrives.
Can I wave the suspicious person over to us?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you like beckon to him.
Yeah. Come here.
Yeah, he kind of like comes over, and
he's like a big guy, right?
He scowls at you. He's short, but he's like broad and squat and built like a brick
Okay.
shit house.
Right. So I'm gonna say
He looks up at you and he scowls.
there's no way both of us can just get the stuff down onto the beach. Why don't you help us? You go down first, and we'll lower it to you, and you can carry it over to the beach.
All right, but don't you go trying now.
So how far? Is the rope that we climbed up? How far is it down to the dangerous waters?
Yeah, let me think. Because it's like, how high is the side of a ship? I reckon it's like 3 meters, maybe 4. I don't.
Okay,
I
so
may
not
be
that-
entirely wrong.
Not even that
I'm-
tall then.
Yeah, I'm anticipating like Alex or Eric in chat with all the ship googling to like correct me about the height of a ship.
Right.
But like it's like 4 meters, right? And like
Okay.
the front of the ship where you guys came up is not the dangerous water. That's like after the drop, like about midway up the ship down
Sure.
where Sean was trying to get in.
So it's definitely not a lethal fall if he were to like accidentally.
If you were to push him, like there's the side of a ship to hit his head on, there's the sand. Like if he went head first, like there's plenty of ways he could die. If you did that.
So I think Tregareth like sees this glint of murder in his eye, and he pokes and points kind of towards Karantak, and kind of goes like,
Like out on the beach.
And are you pointing to? Yeah, sorry. Are you like telling Ruin about this, or are you telling like this surly sailor?
I
He
told
probably
Ruin
needs
about
a name.
this.
Let's give him a name. His name is John.
John. Okay.
Yeah, like kind of like instead of killing this guy, maybe he is useful.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you're gonna try and convince him to like go
Oh.
and deal with Karen Talk and just 2 birds with 1 stone. All right, not so fast.
Okay.
I don't think he's inclined to to go along with this plan. So let's see what you can do. So what do you want
Sure.
if you succeed?
I want the sailor to go and delay Karantak until we are done here.
Yeah, to just like remove both of them from the equation till like the end of the cool.
Right.
I think if you fail, I mean, okay, I'm open to ideas. What do we think failure could look like here? What's interesting?
Someone gets eaten by the beast.
I mean, you're all too far out to sea right now, Sean. You're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait for the beast if you want.
Oh.
If you want beast
I
action.
mean, one of the other people gets eaten.
I think the obvious is that Karantak tells this sailor who we really are.
Oh
and,
shit!
they team up.
Okay, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna run with it. If you fail, Karantak and this guy know each other.
Sure.
Because like we've established that like these, this ship has been like patrolling around here. They've got to put in somewhere. I think if you fail, like this ship's usual berth is at Hollywell.
Cool.
And like Karantak is known as like a loyal subject of His Majesty to this guy.
Oh god.
And like and like your cover is like blown, at least with this one grumpy man from Yorkshire. Does that sound reasonable?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's do that roll. So
Sure.
Start with 1 die. You have a skill or a virtue that will help?
I'm trying to drive a hard bargain, I think. I'm like, we'll take care of this for you.
But you
there's
go
this
deal with
danger.
That bad like shipwrecker who's coming to.
Yeah, you got to deal with
him
him for us.
No, I'll give it to you. I think it's a bit of a stretch, but I'll give it to you.
All right.
Do you have gear that will help? Your sturdy shoes will not help you.
I don't think any kind of gear would help with convincing.
I mean, I don't know if you had a cross and you could be like, "Hey,
So
dude, we're both Christian."
Can we,
right?
Tobacco.
can we help each other in this, or is it exclusively the
No.
roller? Okay, so I can't be like, here, take my strong brandy to convince this guy.
Yes, as far as gear goes, that can be passed between people, so I think I'd allow that.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to like bribe the guy with brandy, you could do that.
I'm
I also
willing to
think like
offer.
I could also argue that situationally, since I ostensibly came to help these people, that the fact that I have these ropes and stuff to get them to shore. But nah, this is
Yeah,
bullshit.
I think that's a bit of a stretch. I think that I'll give you the strong brandy if you want to do that.
Sure.
Yep. All right, so it's 3. An ill contact is in your way because Karen Talk's involved.
Right.
So that's
So
minus
this
1
is
die. Do you have a talisman, knacker, and a cord? You do not.
No.
So you're 2d6.
All right.
And let's see what's gonna happen.
All right.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, so John kind of like nods. He's like, all right, I'll make sure he's not up to note. And yeah, he kind of like, I think he's like, he's like a burly dude. I think he just like lowers himself down from the railing and then just like drops into the water and just like kind of lets his knees crumple and like takes the landing.
Jeez, I'm glad
Nice.
I tried to kill him.
Yeah, well, I mean, like that's the difference between like him doing it in a controlled way and you pushing him head first, right?
Right.
Like,
Well,
human bodies are miraculous things, but they're also really fragile. Yeah, and so I think he starts like jogging through the water, like like grunting a little at the resistance as he like pulls out his pistol and it starts like calling out, and you can hear him, but like Karen Talk, there's no way Karen Talk can at this distance yet, but like he's yelling anyway. He's like, "Stop there in the name of His Majesty!"
Great.
sweet.
Well, if we're
Yeah,
lucky,
so the
they'll kill each other.
The two of them like exit the scene. And I think because I'm like a cruel, mean person. I think we might go to our second break here and then come back to find out what's going on with Sean in the hold and the remaining boat's load of
I'm
sailors.
sorry that I sent the captain and everybody down there.
No, you're not.
I mean, we said it
Yeah,
wasn't
so I think-
PvP, but
Yeah, chat, hang with us. After the break, we're gonna see how that goes, and also these guys still have to get the cargo off the ship and the cargo back up the cliff and the cargo to someone who can sell it or whatever the fuck they're gonna do with it. So join us in 5 minutes or so, and we will see you then.
cool.